down, calm down. What kind of shot?
Good afternoon. If you watched my last video, you see I left off driving the truck after I installed the transmission temperature gauge on the steering column. If you haven't seen it, go check out the last video. As I was cruising around, I drove for about 20-25 minutes and on the highway, not like stop and go traffic or anything like that. And the highest I saw was about 150. Granted, that's not towing a trailer or anything like that. The truck is two-wheel drive, 5.3. So temps were about 219. I mean, that's pretty high. That's engine temps. Transmission stayed at about 150. Again, our autometer gauge is really calibrated correctly. Who fucking knows? But here we are. We're back, and I am ready to install the Tru Cool 40K. I already opened the box, showed you guys in the last video, but here it is. This is how it comes to you. Brackets are separate out of the box with the hose, and then this is in its own box. This is the cooler itself. So right now I'm kind of working on getting the front end disassembled. I took off the upper piece. There's Florida problems, am I right? Took off the top part, the plastic. Working on getting the grill off, and right now I think I got everything except for the ends here. I think they just probably snap in. I got to figure that out. And then after I get this off, we could assess the factory transmission cooler and see what we got. Look how disgusting this shit is. Fucking Florida, man. Actually, Central North Florida. This is a problem. This is not a South Florida issue right here. This is fucking gross. This, I believe this is a, fuck. That's either power steering cooler or oil cooler. Somebody drop a comment and let me know what that is, because I kind of want to replace that. Can't really see where it goes. Oh well. But this is what we're here for today. This thing is tiny, super tiny, and not doing its fucking job very well. So what I'm gonna do, pull this off right here, 2 10mm bolts. This lower bracket right here has to basically get bolted back, but backwards, and I gotta cut about right here in order to clear this little radiator support deal. Then I'll probably hit that with some black spray paint. I might have some there. So for now, let's work on getting these lines disconnected and this cooler taken off. Alright fellas, this is where I'm at. Old cooler is out and one of the lines is out, as you can see. If you're gonna eliminate the transfer of ATF through the factory radiator, you gotta do this. Take the line that's going to be on the passenger side of the cooler, just take that out completely from the cooler and from the radiator. So my lines are kind of seized in here, so what I had to do was disconnect it from the radiator up top, which is going to be the top line going in. Alright, so the top line on the radiator is going to go to the passenger side of the transmission cooler. Disconnect this first, and that'll allow you to kind of rotate this transmission line where it goes into the cooler so you can get it out better, because good luck just pulling it straight out. It's gonna be a bitch. You're gonna have to rotate it somehow to get it free. And then once I did that, I was able to unbolt the cooler from the top and then rotate the cooler to get it free from this line. This line we're gonna keep. This one goes directly to the transmission. And I know you guys are asking, like, what about the other line? So the other line, what I'm gonna have to do, is come down here, and I believe I gotta remove this plate to get access to the line, but the line that goes to the bottom feed of the radiator, I'm gonna have to come in here with the tubing cutter and give it a nice cut right about here where the fan is, and I'm gonna slip my rubber hose over that, and then that rubber hose is gonna go to the Tru Cool 40K. So what I'm thinking about doing, to be honest with you guys, is going here with a soft bristle brush and cleaning all this fucking crap off my condenser, because I can't stand to look at that. So I'm gonna do that. So here's where I'm at. All right, we got the lines disconnected from the radiator, okay, and I have identified the line I need to cut, and it's gonna be, when you go into your truck, remove your splash shield here.
I know.
That's how. So when you remove your splash shield or your whatever, your underguard, held on by 15 mil bolts, okay? Pop that off. You're gonna see 2 transmission lines. The one you want is on the bottom, okay? If you want to make sure, it's the one that goes to the bottom of the radiator, not the top one, okay? So if your truck is anything like mine, my truck came from New Hampshire and Massachusetts, which isn't too terrible, but it has a little bit of surface rust in places, especially these lines. Get you some sandpaper, and at the section that you're going to cut, just clean it up a little bit. Knock off some of the dirt and corrosion. Make it nice and smooth again. This is just some 80 grit that I've had lying around. You don't have to go too crazy with it. Just make sure it's nice and clean where you're gonna make your cut. So that way when you cut it, and then you go to slide your hose over. Fuck, this one's got dirty. There you go. So when you cut it, right, and you go to slip your hose over it, you're not gonna trap a bunch of dirt, rust, corrosion, whatever have you, inside the hose. It's gonna be a nice, smooth clamping surface for that transmission line. So a little bit more, and we'll get the tubing cutter out. Okay, tubing cutter, guys. If you don't have one of these, go to Lowe's, go to Home Depot. They're not expensive at all. This is what they look like. This is the smallest one that I can find. I've had this, so I'm pretty sure there might be smaller ones that exist. I don't know, but this is gonna be perfect for this application. You wanna get a too big of a one because obviously you don't have a whole lot of room. And that's what you're gonna be doing, okay? If you don't know how to use these, there's plenty of videos on YouTube, look it up. So that's about more or less where I'm gonna make my cut. That way, it's in between the subframe and the sway bar, so I have plenty of room in there to service it if I need to change a clamp, or get a screwdriver in there for the clamp, or do whatever I need to do. So I'm going to slice this off and slip that hose over it. All right, got my rubber hose on, got the clamp still loose because I think I want to try to push it back even more. I still got some clean surface left on the hard line, but the tubing cutter did great. Took quite a bit of rotations on it, but I mean, she made a solid cut. Have a pan ready because fluid will come out, obviously. That's how much came out when I did it. I was able to slip the hose on quickly and to prevent any more coming out, which if it does, I mean, I bought 2 quarts, so have some quarts of ATF on hand when you do this, because number one, the cooler's bigger, so it's going to require more fluid, but B, you're also going to lose some when you're disconnecting hoses and shit. And so let me go ahead and try to push this on a little bit more, get that clamp on there and secure it. These fucking things, literally, these fucking things, look at them, fucking everywhere. Florida problems. Okay, ready? Lower bracket. You're gonna flip it upside down, but before you do that, you got to do a little bit of trimming. Here I cut too much, but it's no big deal. If you want to be a perfectionist, you can measure it out and see how much to cut, but I wanted to cut once and not measure, so I just took off too much. It'll be okay. Bolt it back backwards, and now you have a nice mounting platform for the bottom of the cooler. Pretty nifty, huh? So let me tighten these bolts down, get the cooler out, and start figuring out something for the top. There it is. So I put it up, and we have a clearance issue with this guy. Watch some of the videos, and they basically remove the bolt, cut the bracket off so that it's flush with this piece, and then some say they do a bolt here or a rivet. Other guy does a zip tie. That sounds more like a plan to me. A fucking zip tie. That way when I go to replace this thing in the future, I'll actually do it right. But for now, zip tie it is. So put the cooler away, safe in the box, get my little cutoff wheel, and do a little right down there. All right, and then don't worry, after everything's all said and done, I'm gonna pull the cooler back off, wash back here, and let it dry overnight. First thing in the morning, come out here, black spray paint, make it all nice and neat. And then when I go to reassemble everything, because this was a Northeastern truck, I'm gonna put anti-seize on these bolts, and all the bolts that I've taken off so far, I'm gonna put anti-seize, just because you know, I'll feel better about it. So let's knock this off, and then we'll get to work on the top brackets. All right, boys. So next, for the top, you get these brackets right here. The plan is to put it here. However, if you got nuts and bolts, go for it. But I'm an OEM boy, so what you want to do is take these little threaded clips off your old oil cooler, what I set on top. All right, pull them off with a flathead screwdriver and transfer it over here. Now you got two threaded boys for your top brackets. OEM Supreme. So now you take your bracket. I really need my head strap for this. With the factory bolts, and thread it in like that. All right. So now you got your top bracketry. Don't go all the way. Obviously you need to move them around still. So that's good enough. There we go. Well, let's see how this is going to work out, because apparently it can't go all the way up. But I had my assistant mark the holes where I'm going to drill while I was holding the cooler up. So I'm gonna get those holes drilled, bolt up the cooler on the bottom, and then see where the top brackets need to go. So let's go get my drill, find some drill bits, my center punch, very important, and then fucking rock and roll. All right, so that's pretty much what it looks like. Bottom is 100% bolted in, nice and tight. The top, trying to figure out these top brackets. Now I know I said the last clip I was going to reuse these holes, but here we go, check that out. It's just barely there. So what I could do, I could use my drill and make the hole match, like force it to match, like make it oval kinda, and I can still use those clips and then cinch it down. As you can see, I left this side bolted in, but look how much it's off from the cooler mounting point. So no bueno, not a big deal though. I'm gonna get my drill, punch through that, and make it work. And here we are, got the top mounted up, bottom mounted up. This thing is solid. Just had to drill very carefully because you'll punch through the condenser, but drill the new hole. What I did was tighten up the bracket over here on this end, pulled it up, and then drilled through here very carefully. It's aluminum, so you don't have to use a whole lot of pressure. Just let the drill bit do the work for you, and it'll slowly chew away and go through this. But do not apply pressure, because if you do, you probably will punch through the condenser and you feel like a huge dickhead. So once that's done, get your threaded clips, put them back on here, run your bolt, tighten it down. She's not going anywhere. So now the task at hand is to attach these fittings to the cooler itself and then connect the lines. Okay everybody, here we are, the finished product. Hoses are all connected. Oh, by the way, I didn't record it. I was kind of grinding away on this thing, but that hard line that comes over this way, all right, you're gonna have to cut that end off about right here where it starts to bend up to the old cooler, so you can slip your rubber hose over it. And then I removed this plastic piece and ran it underneath and then bolted it back up. So pretty much now the final step is to put my intake back on and fire it up. It might take about a quart, I'm assuming. So I'll start off like half a quart of ATF, you know, shift through all the gears. You guys know the drill. And keep checking it periodically. I just gotta find a funnel that'll fit that dipstick too, because I don't think I have one. So we'll see. Anyways, here we go. I think now I'm ready to put the grill back on, but first I think I want to start it up, check for leaks obviously, because that would suck if you put the grill back on and you got leaks, you gotta pull everything back off again. So I'm a little fucking tired. Yeah, a lot of congestion going on in my fucking chest. It's really annoying, but I'm fighting through it. There it is, finished product. It's already got some fucking bugs in it, but you know what? It is what it is. So, went for a drive, went to go pick up my daughter from school later on that day, and temps went from 150 to 125. Oh shit, sorry, it's probably bright as hell. There we go. So the temps went from 150 before the cooler to 125 after the cooler. To me, that's 25-degree difference, really good, especially here in Florida. So I'm gonna test it out this weekend. I'm gonna be pulling the boat and going to the river again, which is like the thing to do up here in Florida. If you guys are local around here, you already know. But anyways, I want to give you guys one final look of the transmission gauge and show you guys everything. Also, these floor mats just came in. Got them on Amazon. So I thought it'd help with all the sand and shit that's down here, which really sucks, been driving me crazy. But anyways, that's that. I appreciate you guys for watching, and like, comment, subscribe. Stay tuned for future videos. Peace.